The underestimated planet. Commander Zara Chen stood at the viewport of the aging International Space Station, her dark eyes fixed on the blue marble of Earth below. The station, once a pinnacle of human achievement, now felt like a relic compared to the sleek vessels of the galactic community that occasionally passed by, their hulls gleaming with advanced alloys unknown to human science. It had been 5 years since first contact, when the Galactic Confederation had revealed itself to humanity. The initial excitement had quickly given way to disappointment, and, for many, humiliation. Earth, it turned out, was considered a backwater world, barely worth noting on galactic star charts. Zara's wrist communicator chirped, pulling her from her thoughts. "Commander Chen," came the voice of her second-in-command, Lieutenant Marcus Okafor. "The Jorani delegation has arrived. They're requesting permission to dock." Zara suppressed a sigh. The Zorani, a species of tall, willowy aliens with iridescent skin, were among the most condescending of the galactic races. "Permission granted," she replied, straightening her uniform. "I'll meet them at the airlock." As she made her way through the station's cramped corridors, Zara couldn't help but feel a mix of anticipation and dread. These visits from alien dignitaries always left a bitter taste in her mouth. They came not to exchange knowledge or forge alliances, but to gawk at humanity's quaint attempts at space exploration. The airlock hissed open, revealing 3 Jorani. Their leader, Ambassador Xaltoth, ducked to enter the station, his 7-foot frame barely fitting through the human-sized opening. His large, almond-shaped eyes swept across the interior with thinly veiled disdain. "Commander Chen," Xaltoth said, his translator converting his sibilant speech into crisp English. "How charming to visit your orbital habitat once again." Zara forced a smile. "Welcome aboard, Ambassador. We're honored by your presence." As she led the delegation on a tour of the station, Xaltoth's comments grew increasingly patronizing. "Oh, how fascinating," he drawled, examining a bank of computers. "You still use silicon-based processors. How quaint. The Confederation phased those out millennia ago." Zara gritted her teeth, reminding herself of the importance of diplomacy. Earth needed allies in the galactic community, even if those allies viewed humans as little more than clever pets. The tour concluded in the station's small conference room, where holographic displays showed the latest advancements in Earth's space program. Zara felt a surge of pride as she presented plans for a new generation of ion engines, capable of propelling spacecraft to Mars in weeks rather than months. Ambassador Xaltoth listened with an air of polite boredom. When Zara finished, he leaned back in his chair, which creaked ominously under his weight. "Commander," he said, his tone dripping with false sympathy, "while your species' efforts are admirable, you must understand how they appear to the rest of the galaxy." He gestured to the holographic displays. "These advancements you speak of, they're equivalent to a child proudly showing off their crayon drawings to a master painter. The Confederation's slowest ships could outpace your fastest designs 1,000 times over." Zara felt her face flush with anger and embarrassment. She opened her mouth to respond, but Xaltoth continued, seemingly oblivious to her reaction. "Perhaps it's time your people accepted their place in the galactic order," he said. "There are many roles for less advanced species. The Confederation always needs manual laborers for our mining colonies, or perhaps some of your more intelligent specimens could be trained as domestic servants." The room fell silent. Lieutenant Okafor, standing by the door, looked as if he might explode with rage. Zara took a deep breath, forcing herself to remain calm. "Ambassador," she said, her voice steady despite her inner turmoil, "while we appreciate your perspective, humanity has no intention of becoming a servant race. We may be behind in some areas of technology, but we have much to offer the galactic community." Xaltoth's lipless mouth curved into what might have been a smile. "Of course, Commander. Your species' optimism is one of its more endearing qualities. But let's be realistic. What could Earth possibly offer that the Confederation doesn't already have in abundance? Before Zara could answer, alarms blared throughout the station. Red warning lights flashed, bathing the room in an eerie glow. Lieutenant Okafor rushed to a nearby console, his fingers flying over the controls. "Commander," he shouted over the noise, "we're detecting multiple objects on an intercept course with Earth. They just appeared out of nowhere. Some kind of stealth technology we've never seen before." Zara's heart raced as she joined Okafor at the console. The display showed a swarm of unidentified craft, their sleek shapes unlike anything in the Confederation's known fleet. They were heading straight for Earth, their velocity far exceeding anything humanity's detection systems should have missed. Ambassador Xaltoth peered at the display, his earlier smugness replaced by confusion and a hint of fear. "Impossible," he muttered. "No known race possesses such technology." Zara's mind raced. Unknown, highly advanced ships were about to reach Earth, and humanity's defenses were woefully inadequate. The Confederation's nearest fleet was light years away. They were on their own. As the reality of the situation sank in, Zara realized that humanity's place in the galaxy was about to change forever. Whether they would rise to the challenge or be obliterated in the face of this new threat remained to be seen. But one thing was certain: Earth's days of being the galaxy's underdog were over. The secret project. Deep beneath the Rocky Mountains, in a facility unknown to all but a select few, Dr. Ilara Patel stood before a massive holographic display. The image showed a ship unlike anything humanity had ever built, sleek, predatory, and bristling with technology that even the Galactic Confederation would envy. "Project Prometheus is ready," Ilara announced to the small group of military and scientific leaders gathered in the dimly lit room. Her voice, usually calm and measured, held a note of excitement she couldn't quite suppress. General Marcus Stanton, a grizzled veteran with more combat experience than the rest of the room combined, stepped forward. His eyes, sharp despite his years, scanned the holographic schematics. "You're certain it will work, Doctor?" Ilara nodded, her dark hair bobbing with the movement. "The reverse-engineered Confederation tech, combined with our own innovations, has exceeded all expectations. Prometheus isn't just a match for their ships. It's superior." A murmur ran through the assembled group. Superior to Confederation technology. It seemed impossible. Yet the data scrolling beside the hologram told a different story. "How did you manage to keep this secret?" asked Admiral Helena Reyes, her weathered face a mask of disbelief and hope. "The Jirani and their allies have spies everywhere." Ilara allowed herself a small smile. "We didn't just develop new technology, Admiral. We created new ways to hide it. Prometheus is shielded by a quantum camouflage field that makes it undetectable to any known form of scanning." General Stanton grunted in approval. "And weapons?" In response, Ilara tapped a control panel. The hologram zoomed in on various sections of the ship, revealing systems that looked more like works of abstract art than conventional weaponry. "Graviton pulse cannons," Ilara explained, pointing to a series of elegant spiral structures. "They can disrupt the atomic structure of any known material." And here, she indicated a cluster of spherical objects near the ship's core, antimatter torpedoes with smart targeting systems. One hit could vaporize a small moon. The room fell silent as the implications sank in. Humanity, long dismissed as a primitive species barely worth noticing, had created a weapon that could challenge the galaxy's greatest powers. Admiral Reyes broke the silence. "This changes everything. But are we ready to reveal ourselves? To challenge the Confederation's dominance?" Before anyone could answer, alarms blared throughout the facility. Red lights flashed, and a voice came over the intercom. "Unknown vessels approaching Earth. This is not a drill. Repeat, this is not a drill." General Stanton's face hardened. "Looks like the decision's been made for us. Dr. Patel, is Prometheus ready for combat?" Ilara hesitated for a fraction of a second. They had planned for more tests, more simulations, but there was no time. "Yes," she said firmly. "She's ready." Then let's introduce the galaxy to humanity's true potential, Stanton declared. He turned to a communications officer. Get me the president. It's time to launch Project Prometheus. As the facility erupted into controlled chaos, Elara felt a mix of fear and exhilaration. Years of secret work, of hiding their true capabilities from condescending alien visitors, were about to pay off. But at what cost? Across the globe, hidden hangars opened. Crews scrambled to their stations, and deep in a mountain, the most advanced ship in human history prepared to meet an unknown threat. In orbit, Commander Zara Chen watched in awe as new contacts appeared on the International Space Station's sensors, ships of unmistakably human design, but far beyond anything she had ever seen, emerged from hidden bases around the planet. Ambassador Gazaltov, his earlier smugness long gone, stared at the display in disbelief. "Impossible," he whispered. "Your people, you couldn't have." Zara allowed herself a grim smile. "It seems, Ambassador, that humanity has a few surprises left." As Earth's secret fleet moved to intercept the unknown invaders, the fate of not just humanity, but the entire galaxy hung in the balance. The age of human subservience was over. Now it was time to fight. First contact gone wrong. The bridge of the U.S. Prometheus hummed with tension as Captain Alexei Volkov guided the ship towards the approaching alien fleet. Despite years of training in simulators, nothing could have fully prepared him and his crew for this moment. They were about to engage in humanity's first true interstellar battle against an enemy they knew nothing about. "Status report," Volkov ordered, his voice steady despite the adrenaline coursing through his veins. His XO, Commander Samantha Cruz, responded crisply. "All systems nominal, Captain. Quantum camouflage is holding. As far as we can tell, neither the invaders nor the Confederation ships in the system have detected us." Volkov nodded, his eyes fixed on the main view screen. The alien ships were unlike anything they had seen before, organic-looking craft that seemed to shift and pulse as if alive. There were dozens of them, ranging from small, dart-like fighters to massive ships that dwarfed even the largest Confederation cruisers. "Any response to our hails?" Volkov asked. Communications Officer Liu shook his head. "Negative, sir. We've tried all known frequencies and protocols. They're either not receiving or choosing not to respond." Volkov's jaw tightened. He had hoped, perhaps naively, that this could be resolved peacefully, that the unknown ships were merely lost travelers or misguided explorers. But their silence, combined with their aggressive approach towards Earth, left little room for optimism. "Very well," he said, straightening in his command chair. "Initiate first contact protocol, Omega. Let's show them we're here." Around Prometheus, the rest of Earth's secret fleet decloaked. A dozen ships, each a marvel of human ingenuity and reverse-engineered alien tech, shimmered into view between the invaders and Earth. For a moment, everything seemed frozen. The alien fleet's advance halted as if in surprise. On the Confederation ships that had been impotently monitoring the situation, alarms blared as their sensors suddenly detected the human vessels that had appeared out of nowhere. Then, chaos erupted. The lead alien ship, a massive construct that resembled nothing so much as a floating metallic jellyfish, unleashed a barrage of energy weapons. Beams of sickly green light lanced out, narrowly missing Prometheus as Volkov ordered evasive maneuvers. "Return fire," Volkov commanded. "Target their weapons systems. Let's see if we can disable rather than destroy." Prometheus's graviton pulse cannons roared to life. Streams of distorted space-time struck the alien flagship, causing sections of its hull to crumple and twist as if made of tinfoil. But the damage seemed to heal almost instantly, the ship's organic-looking surface rippling and reforming. Around them, the rest of the human fleet engaged the invaders. Earth ships danced between streams of alien fire, their advanced shielding technology barely holding against the onslaught. Human weapons flared in response, tearing into the alien vessels with a fury that seemed to take the invaders by surprise. On the bridge of Prometheus, alarms blared as the ship shuddered under a direct hit. Port shields down to 60%. Crows shouted over the noise. Whatever these weapons are, they're eating through our defenses faster than we anticipated. Volkov gripped the arms of his chair, his mind racing. They had the element of surprise, superior technology, and the determination to protect their home. But the aliens had numbers and a level of adaptability they hadn't expected. This wasn't going to be the easy victory they had hoped for. "Bring us about," he ordered. "Focus fire on their engines. If we can't destroy them, maybe we can at least stop their advance." As Prometheus wheeled to face a new target, a priority communication came through. It was from the International Space Station. Commander Zura Chen's face appeared on the view screen, her expression a mix of awe and urgency. "Captain Volkov, we're picking up some kind of signal from the alien fleet. It's aimed at Earth's core." Volkov felt a chill run down his spine. "Can you decode it?" Chen shook her head. "No, but our Jorani guests seem to recognize it. They're in a panic, sir. Whatever that signal is doing, it's bad. Very bad." As if to punctuate her words, the view screen suddenly filled with a new horror. The surface of the alien ships began to shift and bulge, exuding thousands of smaller craft. Like a swarm of deadly insects, these new vessels began to descend towards Earth. "Interceptors, now!" Volkov shouted. But even as Earth's fighters scrambled to meet this new threat, he knew they were outnumbered. The invaders had brought an army, and humanity's secret fleet, impressive as it was, had not been prepared for this scale of assault. As the battle raged around them, Volkov realized with growing dread that this was more than just an invasion. Whatever signal the aliens were sending to Earth's core could have planet-wide consequences. They weren't just fighting for victory now. They were fighting for survival. "All ships," he broadcast to the human fleet, "protect the planet at all costs. Whatever these things are planning, we have to stop it." As Prometheus dove back into the fray, the fate of Earth hung in the balance. Humanity's first major interstellar conflict had begun, and it was already clear that the cost would be higher than anyone had imagined. Turning the tables, Dr. Ilara Patel's fingers flew over the holographic controls of Prometheus's science station, her mind racing faster than the battle unfolding around them. The alien signal directed at Earth's core was unlike anything she had ever encountered, a complex web of quantum-entangled particles that seemed to defy the laws of physics as humanity understood them. "Captain," she called out, her voice tight with urgency, "I think I know what they're trying to do. They're attempting to destabilize Earth's magnetic field. If they succeed, our planet will be defenseless against solar radiation. It would effectively sterilize the surface." Captain Volkov's face hardened. "Can we stop it?" Ilara shook her head. "Not directly. Their technology is too advanced." But her eyes lit up with a sudden idea. "Captain, I need access to the graviton pulse cannons. I think I know how we can use their own strategy against them." Volkov hesitated for only a moment before nodding. "Do it. Whatever you need." As Ilara's hands danced over the controls, reprogramming the weapon systems on the fly, the battle outside intensified. Earth's fleet, despite its advanced technology, was being pushed back by the sheer numbers of the alien swarm. Commander Kruz's voice cut through the chaos on the bridge. "Sir, we've lost the Artemis and the Orion. Our fighters are being overwhelmed. We can't hold them much longer." Volkov gritted his teeth. "We just need to buy a little more time. Dr. Patel, whatever you're planning, we need it now." Ilara looked up from her station, her eyes blazing with determination. "Ready, Captain. But for this to work, we need to get closer to their flagship, much closer." Volkov didn't hesitate. "Helm, take us in. All power to forward shields. Let's punch through their line." Prometheus surged forward, its advanced engines pushing it to speeds that would have torn apart any conventional spacecraft. The alien swarm, caught off guard by the sudden aggressive move, scattered in confusion. As they closed in on the massive alien flagship, resembling a grotesque, pulsating jellyfish, Ilara's modified graviton pulse cannons hummed to life. "Fire," Volkov commanded. But instead of the destructive beams they had used earlier, Prometheus emitted a complex web of gravitational waves. They intersected with the alien signal, creating a cascade of quantum interference. For a moment, nothing seemed to happen. Then, suddenly, the alien flagship began to convulse. Its organic-looking surface rippled and distorted, as if caught in an invisible storm. "It's working," Ilara shouted over the alarms blaring across the bridge. "Their own signal is being reflected back at them, amplified by our graviton pulses. It's overloading their systems." The effect spread quickly. Across the battlefield, alien ships began to lose cohesion, their strange biomechanical structures unable to cope with the reflected and amplified signal. Smaller craft fell from the sky, while larger ships twisted in on themselves, crushed by their own technology. Volkov wasted no time. "All ships, concentrate fire on the distorted vessels. Hit them while they're vulnerable." Earth's fleet, reinvigorated by this sudden turn of events, launched a furious counterattack. Weapons that had previously seemed ineffective now tore through the weakened alien hulls. The swarm that had seemed unstoppable mere minutes ago was now in full retreat. As the last of the alien ships fled or were destroyed, a cheer went up across the human fleet. They had done it. Against all odds, humanity had repelled an invasion by a vastly superior force. On the bridge of Prometheus, Captain Volkov turned to Dr. Patel, his eyes filled with a mixture of awe and gratitude. "Doctor, you've just saved Earth. How did you know that would work?" Ilara smiled tiredly. "I didn't, not for certain. But I realized their technology relied heavily on quantum entanglement. By using our graviton pulses to create a feedback loop in their signal, we essentially gave them a taste of their own medicine. Their advanced systems became their greatest weakness. As the adrenaline of battle began to fade, the true magnitude of what they had accomplished started to sink in. Humanity had not only survived its first interstellar war, but had emerged victorious against a technologically superior foe." Commander Cruz approached, her uniform singed but her eyes bright. "Sir, we're receiving transmissions from all over the planet. People saw the battle. They know we're not alone in the universe anymore. And they know what we've done here today." Volkov nodded solemnly. "The world is about to change, Commander. But first," he tapped his comm badge. "This is Captain Volkov to all Earth ships. Well done, all of you. Let's go home." As Prometheus led the battered but undefeated human fleet back to Earth, Volkov couldn't help but feel a sense of pride. Humanity had been underestimated, mocked, and then very nearly destroyed. But in the crucible of this battle, they had proven their worth not just to the galaxy, but to themselves. The age of Earth as a galactic backwater was over. A new era was dawning, and humanity would face it head-on, ready for whatever challenges the universe might throw at them next. A new era dawns. The United Nations General Assembly Hall buzzed with an energy unlike anything in its long history. Representatives from every nation on Earth sat side by side with a delegation of alien diplomats from the Galactic Confederation. The events of the past week had changed everything, and today, humanity would take its first official steps onto the galactic stage. At the podium, flanked by holographic displays showing the battle that had saved Earth, stood Captain Alexei Volkov. His dress uniform gleamed under the lights, medals newly pinned to his chest. Beside him, Dr. Ilara Patel fidgeted nervously, still unused to the spotlight that had been thrust upon her since the invasion. "Distinguished representatives, honored guests," Volkov began, his voice carrying easily through the packed hall. "A week ago, Earth faced annihilation at the hands of an unknown alien force. We stood on the brink of extinction, our very existence threatened by a power we barely understood." He paused, his eyes sweeping across the assembly. "But we did not fall. Thanks to the brilliance of our scientists, the courage of our soldiers, and the indomitable spirit of humanity, we not only survived but emerged victorious. A murmur of approval rippled through the human contingent. The alien diplomats shifted uncomfortably, still coming to terms with the revelation of Earth's hidden capabilities. Today, Volkov continued, we gather not just as citizens of Earth, but as citizens of a much larger galactic community. We have proven our worth, not through conquest or intimidation, but through innovation, determination, and an unwavering will to survive. He gestured to the Confederation diplomats. To our galactic neighbors, we extend a hand of friendship. We have much to learn from you, but as we have shown, we also have much to offer. The technology that allowed us to defeat the invaders is now offered freely to the Confederation to help protect all sentient life from similar threats. Ambassador Xaltoth, the Jorani diplomat who had once sneered at humanity's efforts, stood up. His iridescent skin shimmered as he bowed deeply to Volkov. Captain, on behalf of the Galactic Confederation, I extend our deepest apologies for our previous misunderstandings. Your people have demonstrated a level of ingenuity and courage that has humbled us all. We would be honored to welcome Earth as a full member of the Confederation, with all the rights and responsibilities that entails. A cheer erupted from the human delegates. Centuries of dreaming about their place among the stars were finally becoming a reality. As the applause died down, Dr. Patel stepped forward. Thank you, Ambassador, she said, her voice steady despite her nerves. But Earth's contributions won't end with military technology. The breakthroughs we've made in quantum physics, biotechnology, and artificial intelligence have applications that go far beyond warfare. She tapped a control, and new holographic images sprang to life around her. Imagine ships that can cross the galaxy in days instead of years, medical nanobots that can cure any disease, clean energy sources that could power entire civilizations without harming the environment. The alien diplomats leaned forward, their eyes wide with interest, and for the first time, genuine respect. This is what Earth brings to the galactic community, Patel continued. Not just the ability to defend ourselves, but the drive to push the boundaries of what's possible, to explore, to discover, and to improve life for all sentient beings. As Patel spoke, news feeds from around the world showed the impact of the past week's events. In cities across the globe, humans and aliens mingled freely, sharing knowledge and culture. Universities were flooded with applications for new xenobiology and astroengineering programs. Space agencies worldwide were overwhelmed with volunteers for the first wave of human expansion beyond the solar system. The fear and uncertainty that had gripped the planet during the invasion had given way to a new sense of purpose and unity. Humanity, for so long divided by borders and ideologies, had found common ground in its new role as a galactic civilization. As the assembly concluded, Captain Volkov and Dr. Patel found themselves surrounded by well-wishers and curious aliens eager to learn more about Earth's achievements. Ambassador Xaltoth approached them, his earlier condescension replaced by genuine admiration. Captain, Doctor, he said, I must admit, my people had gravely misjudged yours. Your victory over the invaders was impressive, but it's your response in the aftermath that truly shows your potential. Many species would have turned to isolationism or aggression after such an event. Instead, you choose to reach out, to share your knowledge freely. It is humbling. Volkov smiled. Ambassador, if there's one thing you should understand about humans, it's that we're at our best when faced with a challenge. The invasion was a threat, yes, but it was also an opportunity. An opportunity to prove ourselves, to unite our planet, and to take our place in the stars. As they spoke, a commotion near the entrance caught their attention. Commander Zora Chen burst into the hall, her face flushed with excitement. Captain, Doctor, we've decoded more of the invaders' transmissions. We know who they are and where they came from. The hall fell silent as Chen approached, all eyes fixed on her. They call themselves the Void Collective, she explained breathlessly. They're not just invaders. They're refugees from a dying universe. They came here looking for a new home, but their method of dimensional transit is catastrophically destructive to the target world. Dr. Patel's mind raced with the implications, so when they targeted Earth's core, Chen nodded. They were trying to reshape our planet to suit their needs, not realizing it would destroy all life here in the process. It wasn't malice. It was desperation and a fundamental misunderstanding of our form of life. The revelation sent shockwaves through the assembly. What had seemed like a straightforward case of alien aggression had suddenly become much more complex. Captain Volkov turned to address the stunned crowd. "Ladies and gentlemen, representatives of Earth and the Galactic Confederation, we face a new challenge. The Void Collective is still out there, still desperate, still a threat to countless worlds. But now we understand their motives. We have an opportunity not just to defend ourselves, but to find a solution that could save 2 universes." He stood tall, his voice ringing with conviction. "This is humanity's first true test as a galactic civilization. We can choose to hide behind our defenses, to strike back at the collective, or we can reach out. We can use our newfound knowledge and allies to find a way to help them without sacrificing our own worlds." Dr. Patel stepped forward, her eyes shining with the thrill of scientific discovery. "The technology we developed to counter their dimensional signal, with further study and the combined knowledge of the Confederation, we might be able to adapt it, create a way for the Void Collective to transit between universes safely, or even stabilize their dying realm." The hall erupted in excited discussion. Alien diplomats huddled with human scientists, already beginning to formulate plans and research proposals. The challenge that had nearly destroyed Earth was now uniting the galaxy in a common cause. As the assembly dissolved into a flurry of activity, Captain Volkov found a quiet moment to stand at the window, gazing up at the stars. They seemed different now, filled with both promise and peril. Humanity's journey to the stars had been more sudden and violent than anyone could have imagined, but they had risen to the occasion. Whatever challenges lay ahead, Volkov knew that humanity would face them with the same spirit that had carried them through their trial by fire. With ingenuity, courage, and an unwavering determination to forge a better future, Earth would help shape the destiny of not just one universe, but 2. The age of humanity as a galactic power had begun, and the stars themselves seemed to shine a little brighter in welcome.